you might not have known this, but actually I decided to start a nightclub for men with erectile dysfunction. It was a total flop and nobody came.
I feel seen.
The Black Dog Podcast, sponsored by Viagra. Viagra keeps you up all night. 10 quid for a shag? You must be joking, mate. Anyway. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Black Dog Podcast, episode 124. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
I'm Elton.
And this week we'll be seeing how everyone's week's been, if there's anything going on at all. And then we'll look at some feedback for last week's episode, which was Stakeland. And then we will be moving on to this week's movie, which is Elton's choice, which is Elton.
U5
Fucking
7
90210.
You
fucking
Luke
Yes.
Perry in an underwater adventure. Yeah. The joys of high school underwater.
Sorry, Elton, what was it?
You
Bend.
No, it's called You
But cunt. That's us demonetized on YouTube.
Yep.
Anyway,
screw them.
yeah. Go on then. What is it?
You
Fucking arsehole. Yeah, go on.
But no, really, honestly,
Yeah,
no.
seriously.
It's called You
Wasted my time. No, sorry, carry on. Sorry, Elton. What's
Okay,
it?
sorry. Serious now, yeah?
Yeah,
Ready?
serious.
Ready?
Go on.
Deep breaths, deep
Yeah,
breaths.
yeah.
Ready? You
Made me sign up to my 5.
Elton, imagine you're running over hot coals, right, in bare feet. You got
Yep.
to do this quickly, man. Right? Okay. And spontaneously as well. So
Go on.
serious face. Hang on.
Serious face. What was it? What was this film? Come on, everyone
Right,
needs to
here
know
we
what
go.
it is.
Right,
Yeah, go on.
3, 2, here we go. Right now, I'm going to say the title. Here we go. Running up to it, not wasting any time. You
Made me rethink making this fucking podcast.
U571.
Oh, fuck. Yes, U571. That wonderful, highly accurate, and not at all hysterical cliche fest. Sorry. Sorry, get it? Powder dry. So we'll be doing that a little bit later on. So let's find out, before we get there, how everyone's week's been. And what about you, Jim? How has it been for you, sir?
Well, due to my ongoing health issues and having a low white blood cell count, I've had to stay in an awful lot.
Ah, right.
Which means the excuse to do online shopping, get groceries delivered rather than go out, which is really good.
Yep. Nice.
An excuse to be idle. Brilliant. I'll take it.
Always good. No problems there.
Yep. However, so it's that time of year for British people that's actually quite pleasant.
Mm.
It's those couple of months a year where you don't have to pay your council tax.
Oh, yes. Yes.
oh
Which
yes.
is always nice. You know, you're like, I suddenly got a big chunk of extra money for a couple of months in your wallet
Yep.
come payday.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I should save that for a rainy day. And then I thought, you know what? I've got lung cancer. I think it's fucking raining. So I consulted my good lady, the wife, and she agreed this was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And so Friday morning, we took delivery of a new Xbox.
Hey.
Ooh, which one? Which
The
Xbox
Xbox Series S.
Nice.
is that? That's not the.
That's the small white one that looks like a sort of
Right.
really funky Bose speaker.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Small, all digital.
Nice.
And I took the smart option, having done a bit of research on YouTube, and said, "Okay, right, I will pay you for your Game Pass, Mr. Microsoft."
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the hard drive is full.
Wow, good work. How long have you had it?
Friday lunchtime.
Atomic Heart, by any chance, sir? Have you done that?
No,
Did you download that?
What we've got, we've got Doom Eternal, original flavors of Doom, Doom 64, which you'd not played before, Goat Simulator.
Nice.
Day of the Tentacle
All those deep
remastered.
games. Yeah, man.
Oh yes, yeah. The first Dragon Age we've not played either. Dragon Age Origins. Darkest Dungeon.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes, that's just
that.
really cool. Because I know the guy does the voice of Wayne June.
Oh,
I've done a
nice.
podcast with him in the past. He's a very, very cool guy. Yeah.
I know the person on the game.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Okay.
Wolfenstein,
Nice.
The Long Dark.
Nice.
I'm struggling to remember now what we got on the damn thing. Hot Wheels Unleashed. Well, Teresa wanted a drivey game. I said, I'll go for your life. I'll play with virtual toy cars, and that was all right. But it kind of, I sort of said we should download Forza Horizon because when I've been looking at various videos on the Xbox, I thought that not huge. Only got a casual driving game, but that looks beautiful. I just want to see how it looks, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And that's been the surprise hit because that game's fucking mental.
Nice.
I don't know if you're familiar, because it is kind of, it's a driving game, but it's slightly tongue-in-cheek. It's like an open world, and it's based on England, like a compressed version of England. So you can like belt from the Lake District to Edinburgh in about 5 minutes.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's got like lots of like famous landmarks in it, and basically you just drive around wherever the hell you like. Then on the map, as you go around, do stuff, it unlocks different sort of races. And you've got road races, illegal road races, proper like, racetrack lap races, off-road dirt racing.
Nice.
And there's like even you can unlock like stunt driver challenges. It's part of one of the plot lines.
Nice.
And you can just do any of this in your own order. But the beauty is you progress through the game and unlock different bits by amassing various points, like skill points and influence points and style points. And no matter how badly you drive, you get points.
Right.
In fact, it rewards you for driving like a drunken chimp. You know what I mean? You plough your car off road, you'll get a drift award, a wreckage damage award. You take down a tree, you get a lumberjack award.
Nice.
You know,
There's no such thing as bad driving.
no, not at all. Nice. If you want to drive sensibly, fair enough. If you want to drive up like a pissed up maniac, you'll still score points.
Hooray!
Hey. And your car never smashes and crashes or burns. It just it's like Christie, just fixes itself and you just carry on your merry way, causing havoc in the English countryside.
Hey,
it's a thing of beauty.
Nice.
And last night I just unlocked this new challenge on the map. It was the Behemoth Challenge. I thought that sounds fun. It's in Ambleside. It's probably going to be an off-road race, so you get to raid in some stupid truck. Yeah, and now it was. But you know what you're racing against?
Go on.
A full-size military hovercraft.
What? It's fine.
Seriously, you know, like the ones with the cross-channel ferry that are like 200 foot long, and you're just racing it that across the Lake District, and it's cutting you up like a bastard. It was the fucking funniest thing I've seen for a long time.
Is this written by the guys who did Fast and Furious? Is this sponsored by the Fast and Furious?
It's a British development team, and there's lots of. When I was looking at the list of awards, there's lots of kind of little in jokes. There's one that's a Mighty Boosh reference because it's called Bouncy Bouncy Having Such a Good Time, which is from the famous trampolining crimp. There's all of the little nods and winks that are in there as well. So it's kind of
nice.
It's a driving game for anyone. And particularly anyone who doesn't like driving games, to be honest.
Sounds great.
Without kind of the moral dubiousness of, say, something like Grand Theft Auto. There's no like setting hookers on fire and things like that.
Oh, right.
It's just good, clean psychotic fun. And, it just looks incredible. And it's nice actually driving around because you can drive around bits of Edinburgh and like Banbury Castle and bits of the Lake District. I've been here. It actually looks like it.
Nice.
So, it's been a surprise hit, shall we say.
Well, that's good. I mean, I might just have to look that up anyway, because I don't have an Xbox S or X or any of that stuff. But I am going to end up driving round most of Scotland in sort of like the summer, so that's going to be that could be worth a look.
Jim, can I highly recommend, by the way, seeing as you've got an awful lot of Doom stuff on there, on Game Pass there's a game called Proteus.
Oh, right.
Play it. Just do it, okay? You won't regret it. It is very Doom-like. I think it's better.
The dude hasn't got any space on his hard drives. He's literally filled his entire Xbox.
There's a plug-in hard drive coming tomorrow and a second controller, don't you worry.
The install size is less than 2 gig, right, for this thing. Okay, and it is...
Excuse me, that's 250 Amiga discs, mate. You can't be just saying 2 gig. That's a big deal.
Thing is, it looks like an Amiga game as well. It's very sort of 8-bit in look, but it flies like the wind, this thing. And it's just got a nice variety of monsters and enemies in it. Unlike Doom, where once you've played it for about an hour, you've seen every enemy that you could possibly come across in that game, and that's it. You don't really get anything new. With this game, you do. Okay. So give it a go. Have a look
for that.
It's all
out for the Ultimate Game Pass.
You've got it.
All you can eat PC games as well. So.
Nice. Yes, you can get it.
Who's getting no work done? PC? Me.
Nice. Yep. So you're using on your laptops as well?
I use that on mine. Yeah. I put Atomic Heart on my laptop. Right. Jesus Christ.
$10.99 a month. You can't go wrong, really.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I say that is because I got given 6 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate because I signed up with this deal. I signed up with this deal for BT for this new funky super duper whizzy bang fucking internet. And they gave that to me as a deal. And I thought, what am I going to use that for?
PC games, mate.
Yeah,
do it.
PC, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, there's more games, actually. I would say there's more games for the PC. There's better games for the PC on Game Pass than there is for the Xbox. I mean, I'm going on the fact that I've still got an Xbox One. But you can play just about anything. Your machine will eat up just about anything on there, mate. You really will.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Anyway,
give it a go.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'll do that. That will be something for next week.
There you go.
Hey. So cool. Well, there's no need to say anything else, sir, because I think we know exactly what you've been doing for the entire week. Cool. Okie dokie. Elton?
Nout for me, I'm afraid.
Nout for you. That's perfectly fine. No, that's not pretty boring. That's just life, my friend. Things happen. Cool. Okie dokie. Well, then we shall skip lightly over you then, sir, and move on to Darren. Darren, is anything happening around your way in your week?
Not much as in going out and doing things wise, but what I did done this week, and this is Darren is late to the party, episode number 462. I started watching
Star Wars.
Which one? Go on, ask me which one. Is it episode? Would that be
episode 1?
Episode, would that be no, we're doing it in watch order. So is that episode 4, A New Hope?
A New Hope.
Is that episode 5, Empire Strikes Back? Is that episode 6? Is that Caravan of Courage? Is that Droids? The pinnacle of Star Wars. Star Wars droids.
Star Wars droids. Where would we be without Star Wars droids?
Cutting edge animation. Fantastic.
God, I love it.
No, this week I started watching Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Not a first episode to watch on the train while there's loads of people standing around you. I can tell you that.
Really?
Yeah, because there's there's Ash and this woman fucking peeing in a toilet in one point. There's lots of things getting their heads blown off and stuff like that. So, yeah, you know, but you may want to turn your back to the rest of everyone and not, you know, with your back to a reflective surface either. Because it just looks like you're watching cheap, nasty porn with people dying. So a snuff movie.
Nice.
So there you go. But no, I'm enjoying it so far. It's very good. It's very, very much Bruce Campbell all over. No. God, is it? It's very sort of like finger guns. That's it. If I could describe it as of anything, it's horror with finger guns. That's it. Right? And it's good. It's great to see him do his thing.
Nice. And he gets full reign to do it. And
he does.
For it being a TV series, it does not hold back.
Nope. That is.
I think I can sum it up. At one point, they've summoned a demon. And asking, so who's this guy? Well, he's a despoiler of souls, tempter of the righteous, and corrupter of the innocent. Okay, well, he can do that on his own time.
Nice.
So yeah, highly recommend that.
Nice.
Highly recommend that.
Funny enough, I've seen Bruce Campbell this week as well on some TV show, which is basically like a Saturday afternoon tea time action spy thing called Burn Notice.
Oh yes.
Oh
yes.
God.
Yeah, I've never seen it before, so it was just like I thought, I'll have a look at it. It's disposable, but then sorry, carry on.
And it's got Bruce Campbell in it.
And it does have Bruce Campbell being basically a lecherous old sod.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, that's funny because he's a lecherous old sod in this one as well. So I feel a pattern. I feel a pattern. Indeed.
Nice.
And the other thing that I played this week came out of the blue. Actually, I was just I can't remember what I was looking for, but I came across an upgraded version of Dark Forces 2. Right now, this guy that's working on a mod for it at the moment, and he's done the first 2 levels of it. He's redone it, and he's done it in Unreal Engine. Right, mate, because I remember us playing this around your gaff when you had the machines all hooked up.
When I had the 4 PCs all hooked up around my room.
Yeah, you need to get hold of this. You really do, right? And just see how far this bloke's come with it. He's completed the first 2 levels of the game so far, and they're free to download and just add. So if you've got a copy of Dark Forces, I mean, you can get it from like GOG.com for like,
I've still got the CD in the cupboard just to my side here.
It works with that as well. So it's something like I think it's a 6 gig pack that you download, and then you just you run the game from the actual pack. You install it, drop it onto the machine, and then run the game from the XE. And it looks absolutely fantastic. And what the guy's also done is he's put some little Easter eggs throughout the game, right? So for one, I'm running around the first part of this level, killing off these Ryus that are coming at me, and I get into one section, and I'm moving through it, and something catches my eye, and I look, and on one of the actual the bolts on the wall, he's actually got the sort of like the silhouette of Mickey Mouse, the head stamped onto that. I found a secret area, turned around, and I'm looking straight at a poster of Spaceballs as well. So there's all lovely nice little bits and bobs in it for you to carry on playing it, but it is just worth it to see the game in all its glory, you know. And it's like, well, can you get the rest of this done ASAP? Because I'd really like to play all of it looking like this. Apparently, he's going to add extra levels, I think, as well. What I'll do is I'll get the site. There's a Patreon you go onto. You don't have to pay anything at all, but you can download the file from there. There's a password for it as well, which he mentions in the text. So make sure it's something like DF2, I think it is. You don't pay anything for it, but you can give him some money if you feel like you've had a good time with it, you know. It's one of those buy me a cup of coffee type things.
Cool.
So so there we go. So the Unreal version of Dark Forces 2.
Unreal Remaster. Does it still have the terrible FMV with that guy playing the Dark Jedi with the hairband across his eyes? Going, Morgan Gatan!
It does have that in it, but he's improved that as well.
By recasting it?
No, he's made the quality better.
Oh, right.
So that bit where you're flying through all the back streets and everything at the beginning there.
Of Nash Shadar.
Yeah. That has been smoothed out.
Nice.
Quite a bit. So, yeah, you can really see the work he's put into it. The textures are really, really good.
Nice.
So there we go. Excellent. So yeah, I'll put the link up on the
Facebook group,
on the Facebook group, and then people can, have a look at that and revel in it.
Nice.
So there you go.
Right. Is that it? All done?
Yep, that's it for the minute. Yep.
Okay, right. Fair enough. Well, we're blasting through this. My week, pretty much nothing much of significance has happened. The only thing that I did do was I went to an entire day of life drawing study thing at the V&A, which was very cool. And it was led by this concept artist who does training for ILM and for Pixar and for a bunch of video game companies and everything. And he does like anatomy classes for the VFX people.
Yeah.
So it was a touch on the expensive side in terms of the actual course cost. But then what happens is you get given to go round the V&A. You get sort of led round the V&A to certain exhibits that you can see and some that are public and some that aren't. And you get given like an iPad Pro and an iPad Pen, and you go round and you're just basically sketching away, and he's talking through anatomy and how that all works and, all this kind of thing, giving you pointers. And it was really, really good fun. The only thing that was a little on the off-putting side was towards the end is you get taken into what's called the cast gallery. And the cast gallery is like replicas of great works that have been taken by the V&A or are loaned out. And so if they loan out like the original of something, they have a cast to replace it sitting in its place until the original comes back. Anyway, so we go into this cast gallery and we're all given chairs. We can sit and look at any of the exhibits at all. And it's like, okay, fine. So we're sitting down. And I thought, well, fuck it. I'm going to be here for an hour and a half and it's all public. And I'm like really nervous because it's like you're sitting there drawing amongst some of the greatest works of art the world has ever seen. And there I am doing stick figures on a fucking iPad. And I'm like, no, I don't really want to be doing this. And so I just put my headphones on, put some music on, started sketching. And I did. I was working on, Michelangelo's David. And I tell you what, I honestly think I got photographed as many times as the fucking exhibits by Asian tourists. It seems like Chinese tourists or Korean tourists or Japanese tourists, I didn't really get their nationality, would actively, for the whole hour, actively stand right behind you, look at what you're doing, then tap you on the shoulder, then get you to pose with the iPad, and they take a photograph of you with the iPad, not the thing you're drawing.
Right.
Though they might have taken photographs of the thing that I was drawing beforehand. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. But the amount of times that happened, I must look like some mad hobo with an iPad just sat on this tiny little stool, and they must think I'm part of the exhibit.
You're like that set of glasses that someone left against a wall in the Tate Modern.
Yeah.
And people started taking pictures of the glasses going, wow, this is so incredible. This is so creative.
Yeah.
You are a work of art, my friend.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I would lie. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't really, pressing all the ego buttons and giving, me going, yes, it is me. It is me. You may take my photo. It is allowed. But,
no, that's a tenner, please.
Yes, and that would be £12. I will even sign your photo. But no, I genuinely, I couldn't understand it. It was like, occasionally get people walking past and just looking and then moving on, and that's fine. But it just seemed like, people from that sort of the Far East Asian countries, because I hate to generalise, but I just didn't know where they were from, would just stop, look over my shoulder very close in like the personal space, and then just tap me on the shoulder and then just and want me to stand there with my fucking iPad. It's like half the time I wasn't even close to even drawing anything. I was literally just doing like guidelines. At one point I had for David, I had literally done something like an egg on top of what is essentially a single line. It looked like it was a really bad drawing of a sperm. And they're getting there like saying,
I was going to say, at least you didn't start with the cock and balls.
No, I zoomed right in.
If you draw a dobber, don't forget it's free spurts that come out. Right?
Exactly.
So,
but it was like a kid's drawing of a balloon on a string, and it was just like, why do you want to take a photograph of me holding an iPad with literally a circle and a line dropping off it?
oh, mate, you could have played that. You really could have. You could have. Well, this is my interpretation of what I see before me.
Yes,
I see the actual spirit of Michelangelo is in the balloon, and the string is the weight holding him to earth and restricting his freedom.
Which would have worked if they spoke a single word of English.
Yeah, but don't just tell them anyway. They'll record you and they'll take it back and get it translated. You know, this is it. And then you could have really kind of, you know, and that would be the impression they'd have.
I could have.
There would be a whole country under. I could just see it. You go viral in Japan with this explanation.
Well, that was the thing. There was actual proper art students, like proper art students,
really,
who were floating about, who had like, you know, big sort of easels with paints and everything, and they were doing like proper. They weren't doing David, they were doing other bits, and they were doing like magnificent bits of work. You know, they've been there like for days by the looks of things, and it's like
starving.
Yeah, and
no sleep,
and they're doing all this stuff, and then there's me, Billy No Mate, sitting there with my headphones on, with half a sandwich in my lap and a fucking iPad, and they're going, "Oh, photo," and it's like
drawing SpongeBob. You should draw SpongeBob.
Drawing fucking SpongeBob, exactly.
So in front of Michelangelo's, you know.
Yeah, in front of Michelangelo's David, and I'm drawing fucking Mr. Plow from fucking Simpsons.
Oh, Krabby there with his Krabby Patties.
Krabby Patties.
That's what you could do. There you go.
Yeah, doing a picture of Bod.
Yeah.
So that was very, very bizarre. I mean, I like I say, my ego was tickled in ways that I didn't even, admit to myself. I was like, oh, well, look at me, I'm so good. Wow. But then on the other hand, I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on here?
You are that song by Alphaville now. Mm-hmm. You are big in Japan now.
Well, it could be Japan.
Well, you're big in Japan.
Tonight.
Let's just say they are, just for the essence of the humour, shall we? Let's
just for the sake of
big in Japan, big in Japan, big in Japan.
Big in Japan. All right, this fat man's down the side with an iPad and a sandwich in Japan. He's drawing a man. All right, or it could be a balloon on a little string.
Or it could be a pan.
It could be a bird or something. He
says it's a man, but it's probably a pan.
He's drawing a pan. All right.
Or a man called Dan holding a pan.
Making a flan. But it was bizarre.
And when he was scared, then he ran. While holding a pan, making a flan. This man called Dan, who's big in Japan.
Drinking a can.
See, I'm going to resurrect Alphaville's career. Yeah. He left in a pan. After he ran, holding a pan, this man called Dan, who's big in Japan. Who's been making a flan? Oh, he's big in Japan. Why aren't we doing intros anymore? Why aren't we doing intros? Come on, we could have done that.
Because they take 17 hours and...
Yeah, but that took 2 seconds to do. We just knocked out there and then. That was a collaborative effort. Look what we got. We got next year's Eurovision entry. That's it.
Yeah, which we can't get to see because we can't afford the tickets.
No.
300 fucking quid. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No wonder they put it on for like a couple of £1 million. It's like,
Fuck
yeah,
that.
£300 a ticket. Fucking hell. Anyway,
The Euros.
yeah.
Eurovision. Yeah.
Eurovision.
And they sold out in 30 minutes.
Oh, man. No, I'm staying home. I'll get drunk in a armchair watching it.
Yeah, me too. But I won't obviously be on Twitter this time, so Twitter's safe.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, so that was it really. That was my entire week rolled up in a nutshell. Right, let's move on to some feedback. We did have a little bit of feedback, mainly based around the fact that on the Facebook group I put up the banner for U571, and a lot more people had a lot of stuff to to say about that more than anything. Including Martin Thompson, who said, "I assume Darren's on holiday next week."
No, I'm
He tried.
here.
He tried.
He did try, yeah.
I was thinking, I did make excuses, but it was
Yeah.
like, no, I've got to watch this fucking film.
Yeah.
Fucking podcast.
Yeah, Matt Jones said it was one of the first films I ever bought on DVD. Strangely, yeah. There's just there's a few people trying to get us to do Bon Jovi intros.
Oh, trust me, I gave that a go, but then
Did you?
stuff got in the way. I was going to do like a trilogy of songs all in one.
Ah, right.
What was it? No, it was You Give Love
Slippery
a Bad...
when wet.
Yeah.
No.
You give history a bad name. I don't know. But one
was it Dead or Alive? I was going to call it Surface or Dive. What was the other one? You give subs a bad. Was it? Yeah, you give subs a bad name. Oh, there was one other one. I think it was Blaze of Glory. I was going to do that as well.
Going down.
Yeah, going down in a blaze of. I think it was that one. But yeah, it was going to be like a little montage of songs. They would have all just carried on from one another.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
never got round
to it. No, you had a whole week. You didn't do it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you wonder why we don't do intros.
Other stuff got in the way.
Exactly. But elsewhere on the Facebook group, under the Stakeland episode itself, Brad Thornton simply just says, "You guys kill me." I think he must have hit a funny bet. Well, Mike Byrne wrote in to say there is a series of short prequel episodes that were made to introduce the characters, and some of them are okay, and he has a playlist, the YouTube playlist listed, so go on the Facebook group and look under the episode for that one. And lastly, Martin Thompson comes back again with, listening to the cast, I think I'm more with Lee on this one. The film is okay, but it felt like a lot of things I'd seen before. Zombieland came out before this and was a lot more fun. However, I didn't consider it came out Zombieland came out before this and it was a lot more fun. However, I didn't consider that it came out before, so maybe it's the John Carter principle. It really was... And it really has been so influential that it looks quite trad now. It made me think of the Walking Dead TV show that had come out at some point around the same time. Yeah, I think they also did the zombies falling out the sky at one point. And also, if you're doing intros, you should have done something by Mr. Mister. Oh, of course.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was well, as we've covered, intros we'd love to do, but intros would mean that we'd be making this podcast for about 3 weeks per episode. So these days, no. But you carry on suggesting, everyone. We'll take the suggestions. Maybe one day I'll do them. Lots of people just suggesting intros for U571, really. If anybody wants to send in any feedback, whether it's suggestions for intros that we're not going to record or other comments on any other episodes, by all means do so. Send it in to feedback@blackdogpodcast.com or send in, go onto the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. And that's about it for the moment. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a little break, and then we will come back for what, Elton?
You
absolute bastard. Right, so U571 is a year 2000 submarine film directed by Jonathan Mostow. What did he do? I remember he did something. He did Terminator 3.
Yep, that's right.
There you go. That was his big one. Anyway, from a screenplay written by Sam Montgomery and David Ayer. David Ayer, who also did... Oh, God, what did he do? He did something. I should know all this shit. Oh, he wrote Suicide Squad. Not the good one.
No.
So, yes, and it stars Matthew McConaughey, or Matthew Mahogany, depending on your point of view, Harvey Keitel, Bill Paxton, Jon Bon Jovi, Jake Weber, and Matthew Settle. The film is telling of a story of a World War II German submarine boarded by American submariners to capture her Enigma cipher machine, and does not represent any real events. This is Wikipedia, not me. Although the film was financially successful, which we will talk to about in a second, it only won an Academy Award for sound editing, but it attracted substantial criticism for its inaccuracy. So there we go. We'll just go to the budget. The budget was $62 million. How much do you think it made at the box office, Jim?
6 cups spilling on a table.
Nice. Okay. Elton?
One metal hatch to the face.
Oh, fuck you.
Bang. Oh, that's gonna smart in the morning. Yeah.
That's revenge for last week, isn't it? That's what that is. That's when I stole the one he was going to say.
Oh, were you going to say that?
I was going to say one high velocity hubcap launching Jon Bon Jovi into orbit. Funniest fucking part of that film.
I'm catching a hubcap in the mouth.
Yeah, have a manhole cover. Bonk. Yeah.
Manhole. A hatch in the face, and who's to blame? I've been blown off the deck in the rain. Anyway, right. Go on, Dal. What about you?
I think it made 3 Orads and one goggle-eyed Matthew McConaughey.
All right. Okay. All right. I need you to go into the water.
Yeah. I'm going to spend all this film with my eyes wide open.
And suck it in your cheeks.
Not
Don't
blinking. Don't blink. Yeah.
It's like fucking Wednesday Addams decided to become a submariner. Anyway.
So Rennie Selvig, a facial workout. Suck the lemon. Suck the lemon.
Suck the lemon, goggle eyes.
Yep. Come on, darling. We must be all cheeks, teeth, and tits. Let's do it. Yes.
Right. Well, actually, shockingly, it actually doubled its money. It made $127 million. So there you go.
And there was no sequel.
You
laugh.
You 572.
But no, yeah, exactly. Why didn't they just go and do it?
Why not?
Why not? Just fuck it. Why not?
Yes. Anyway, right. So
this time it's war. Oh, wait a minute. No, it was war anyway.
Next time it's still war.
Yeah, this time, yeah.
this time it's a submarine.
U572. It'll all be over by Christmas.
Yeah. You who glue? I don't know.
You who glue 572. Love it.
Anyway,
down Periscope.
Yes, down Periscope
with Kelsey. Yeah, money sub.
Yeah, what was that, Kelsey?
Money plane.
That's right. Thank you. Anyway, let's go around the table without spoilers, and just see what everyone thought of it. And Elton, it was your pick, so you go last.
Okay.
Justify yourself.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Let's start with you, Jim, because I feel like Darren's might be just where I put my tea on.
I think I'll be short and succinct to the point.
Okay, so Jim, what about you? What did you think of U571?
I was actually sort of pleasantly surprised as it didn't kind of go from its reputation, and I thought actually it wasn't. I was all right. It was very much the boot light, sort of like Das Trainer, and it very much borrowed from Das Boot quite heavily. In fact, lifted several scenes almost identically. But if you're going to do a submarine film, steal from Das Boot.
This is true. Yes. Okay. Okay, here we go. Darren?
Yeah.
What did you think of U571? Top line.
I've got to say, I thought it was pretty soulless.
Yeah.
The whole thing, yeah. I just couldn't get into it. And you know what? Normally, I can separate the art from the artist, but I couldn't on this one. No, especially if you want to try and go into something and give a film a fair chance, don't go reading about what it should have been based on. And the massive, we're talking sort of like the difference between From Here to the Fucking Moon of what the story actually was that this was based on. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have ideas as to what they could have done with this. There's no excuse for what they did. Absolutely no excuse for the story they provided us, because there are ways and means around that to actually create, make something of the original event, and still have an exciting film. And don't start me on that whole thing of, the reason there's studios, or you have to have something American about it to make the money. Yeah, there's ways around that as well, mate. But, there you go. But I'm going to shut up and I'm going to say, no, didn't enjoy it.
Right.
Like I say, very much like even blander than water. That's what I thought. But that's me.
Yeah. For me, personally, I found it basically a grab bag of cliches. I mean, I know I last week I said that I got shushed for basically poo-pooing the final destroyer battle, but out loud in the cinema. But this time round, I mean, just knowing, I just judge the effects completely differently with a bit of hindsight and distance. But I watched it and I just thought it's just every cliche. Every conceivable cliche from start to finish. There wasn't a single. I don't know. There's, in a world where there's every story's been told, there's no surprises anymore. But this was like literally right down to this is a person with a picture of his loved one. He might as well be called Dead Meat. It was like, oh my God. It could not be more cliched if it was a bag of cliches and then had a villain going, we're not so different, you and I. So I found it, I didn't hate it. I just was bored by it because it was a film that I felt I'd already seen a trillion times before. And the dialogue in the first 10 minutes literally explained exactly where it was going and how it was going to go. And it's almost like it didn't need the audience. It was just on autopilot. And I was just like, whatever. And I think that attitude just ran throughout the rest of the film. I just sort of sat there. I mean, the inaccuracies and all that stuff, we'll get to that. But it's just... that wasn't even the big problem. I just soon as everyone kept saying, hey, you've been turned down for captain. Oh no, you've been turned down for captain. What do you mean you've been turned down for captain 77 times in the first 10 minutes? Hey, I'm random person from down the galley. What's happened with you being turned down for captain?
Why aren't you captain yet?
Yeah, why aren't you captain yet? Oh yes, I gotta say, I heard about you being turned down for captain. I wonder what's coming next. It wasn't so much Chekhov's gun as Chekhov's fucking sledgehammer, but anyway. So and that was the thing. It was that kind of hammy cliche thing. I was just kind of, oh god, okay, I've already seen this film 1 trillion times before. Anyway. So, it bored the arse off me is essentially what I'm saying. Elton, what about you?
I didn't mind it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was all right. I thought it was largely passable. If a submarine film needs to do a variety of things, and this hits almost every beat, I think, doing it fairly well on a regular basis. I think this film gets a large bad rap because of the inaccuracies. And people go into it thinking, well, it's inaccurate. It didn't happen that way. They've whitewashed over what should have been and really screwed it up. And so, therefore, I hate it. And sometimes you shouldn't do that. It's not the greatest film. It's not high art or anything like that. But I think it does get a bad rap because of the inaccuracies, and that weighs it down a lot, unfortunately. So I didn't mind it. I thought it was a good Sunday evening movie. Stick it on. You can just dip in and out of it. You had your dinner, and you could have a little snooze and then wake up. Oh, they're still in a submarine. Brilliant. I'll carry on watching that. And it is that type of movie. You can dip in and out of it, and you kind of know where you are with things.
Yeah.
You're in an underwater chase, and that's it does that fairly well, I think. I am surprised on how early Bon Jovi disappeared, though, because I distinctly remember seeing him all the way through the movie. But you've got like Bon Jovi 2 on this movie as well.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought when you said, "Oh yeah, he carks it early on," I was like, "Does he?" I thought he made it to the end.
No.
But no, you got Bon Jovi 2.
No, his character's still in orbit somewhere, I think.
He set the world record for skimming across the water. He's still going.
Whoa, what is it? Is it a 4? Is it a 5? Oh, it's an 8. Whoa.
Away he goes.
Do you know what? I've had some really smooth slate in my time, but they didn't even bounce as far as him.
Yeah. I'm going across the ocean skimming.
Legend had it, he's still doing it now.
Yeah, legend has it, he's going around the equator and one day he'll hit Brazil.
And sometimes when you're out there in the ocean and you're listening, all right, sometimes you hear a splash, splash, splash sound. Some people say that's Bon Jovi still floating, the ghost of Bon Jovi passing by your ship in the dark.
Yeah. Some people say you can hear going down in a blaze of glory.
And sometimes, if you time it just right and you hear that sound, you can also look up and see a Nigerian space prince orbiting the Earth at the same time. Sometimes they intersect one another. And that
Is ever someone going to get me down?
And that creates the Aurora Borealis. Yeah.
Darling, should we go and watch a sunset on the sea? Yes, let's drive down to the coast and have a look. And look how beautiful it is. Hang on, what's that on the horizon?
On a steel horse I ride.
That seems to be Bon Jovi. Skimming across the waves.
Down in a blaze of... Oh, no, with this one it'll be... I'm going down in a splash of water.
Ah, dear. Anyway. Yeah. So right, okay, let's move on then. I mean, we're gonna talk about it. So spoilers from here on in, I guess. If anyone actually cares about a 23-year-old movie at this point, but here's the spoiler foghorn. There you go. That's it. It's spoiler time. Spoiler-tastic. So, all right then. Let's get going. Let's get going. Firstly, can anyone answer me? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Can anyone, without googling,
Yep.
without looking, tell me the name of any of the characters? Not the ranks. The actual name.
Oh, God,
Ribbit, Frogger,
No.
Splasher,
Jovi,
Dingo,
Goose.
Gunman,
Splash McJovi. Him, wasn't it? Yep.
Hatchface.
Yeah. Hatchface McJovi.
Splashy McHubcap. Splashy McHub.
Watch that fucker skim.
Oh God. Oh dear. Yeah. I was just wondering if anyone actually knew any of the characters' names.
Captain.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Yeah, Captain.
Captain.
And the Captain.
The captain.
The
The Captain.
Zigga captain.
The engineers. The dead engineers. They are as the parrot. They are the dead engineers.
Ah, first time you see the black man, I guess. Yes? Yes.
Yeah. Just in case you didn't get it. Just in case you didn't understand. But what were their names? Anyone? Can
No, I don't
If you'd asked me Monday morning, I might have been able to remember. But I've shot a lot of Nazis, crashed a lot of cars, killed a lot of demons since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, Grub? No?
No.
No. Okay.
I know there was one called Rabbit.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about
I
it.
don't think that was his Christian name, though.
Hold on. I think I can hear something. Bon Jovi's coming past. Yeah, there he goes. Anyway, sorry, don't mind me. It was something that came to me watching the film, and I was sort of and all my notes just said cliche, and it was just skipper, commander, captain, lieutenant, over and over again, and I was just thinking that was kind of one of the big issues was that
I think war movies have this problem.
Yes.
War movies fundamentally have a problem because it's people dressed up very similarly next to each other with the same sort of haircuts, same sort of look about them, going into a dangerous situation with open fire going all around them. And you think, well, I can't really tell you from you, from you, and from you. And, oh, that person's not there anymore. When did he die? What's going on there?
Yeah.
And that is... Well, it was a boat full of wet people at some point, and you know none of them have names. They're just Wet Man 1, Wet Man 2, Wet Man 3, and it's war movies. That's what happens. That's why you don't like Black Hawk Down as well, isn't it? Because they all look exactly the same.
It's 22 bald men covered in shit shouting at each other in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
I can't tell
Orlando
who's
Bloom
who.
falls off a helicopter though, which is fucking hilarious.
Orlando Bloom's in it.
Orlando Bloom is in it. Yes,
I did not know that. Yeah. I genuinely did not. I couldn't tell you who was in that film apart from Eric Banner, and that's only because he's got hair.
And Ewan McGregor as well.
Is he?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
He's a coffee guy. He loves the coffee.
You could tell Lee anything and he wouldn't know.
You could tell me, yeah, you could tell me.
Bag pussy's in it. And
Really? Is that right?
I've seen it. You could tell me as well, and I wouldn't know. I'll be honest.
Jessica Rabbit as well.
Really? Fucking hell. I would have thought I would have been more invested in that film if I'd seen that. Yeah, no, and I get what you're saying, but it's just I think the problem is that when you look at films like Red October, or you look at films like Das Boot, or any of those films, even just visually, the characters are distinct. The way they act is distinct. So even if you don't get their names, you understand who they are. But in this, and this goes back to my problem with the whole thing being very generic and very cliche, you could not tell. I don't think you could tell one way or the other who any of the fuckers are until McConaughey goes, Lieutenant, Captain, Chief, get Rabbit down here. Get him in the water. We gotta get him in the water. Sort of thing, over and over again. You're sort of like, oh, he must be the chief. Oh, that's Harvey Keitel because he's got glasses on. It's just like, what? It's I can't tell who's who or what's what.
I think we could all tell Harvey Keitel. He's the one with the moustache all the way through, so that gives him something to latch on to. Moustache's character.
I think I found this.
Spanner Johnson or something like that, to denote an engineer. No, Spanner Johnson. No, that wasn't it. Oh,
no.
Okay.
Sorry,
the thing is, there's quite a few name actors in this. You've got McConaughey, you've got Jon Bon Jovi, not a name actor, but you know who he is.
Yeah.
You've got Harvey Keitel, you've got Bill Paxton, and it's Captain Bill Paxton there. You know what I mean? And that's how I thought of them, really.
Yeah.
I'd say one thing that's struck me in its favour is it was very much an ensemble cast kind of a story. And it's not really about kind of, he's the kooky one, he's the sad one, he's the happy one, he's dopey, he's Doc. You know what I mean? And it's not that kind of a handful of larger-than-life characters fight World War II and win it in a submarine. It was going for something, dare I say, a bit more realistic, a bit more kind of old school. Although they didn't really put much work into the characters other than them doing their assigned job, which is probably realistic, but not great storytelling.
Well, the problem I have is it brings about the big problem that this film has, which is audience engagement, or at least my engagement in it. If I don't know anyone, I don't care about anyone, and I don't get to know anyone. The only thing that I actually actively engaged in, and I have to say it probably makes me the worst human being on earth, was the guy I named Unlucky Dead Meat Johnson, who turned up saying his first lines were, I've only been married 25 minutes and I didn't even consummate my marriage. Then gets on the boat, then gets picked to go on the boarding party, then gets shot, then gets strapped to a gurney, and then the gurney gets blown into the sea and then sinks, and he's still strapped to it, going, "Oh, the humanity!" It's like you couldn't have so much bad luck happen to one person in a single movie. It was laughable. It was like, here's the guy with the girlfriend and the wife, sorry. He's the only one with any backstory. So not only are we going to kill him, but we're going to kill him, shoot him, stab him, drown him, and
then leave him.
And of course, tell him that he didn't get a shag. Yeah, I just like, what? What's left? What else? You're going to cut his knob off with a hubcap? Oh, no. The knob was Jon Bon Jovi. They took that a little too literally. We cut him off. So, it was just, I think that was the big problem for me. I just didn't give a shit about anyone.
You missed a joke there, Lee. You missed a dad joke.
Go on.
You said, "Oh, the humanity." Well, he's in the sea, so shouldn't it be, "Oh, the huge manatee"? No.
Aha!
Okay. There you go. See, thank you. I'm putting these out to you.
You did. I think that's great. What do you think?
Actually, they're found in more southern waters.
Do you know, considering the film we're watching, realism and accuracy have got no place here at all. See, my joke was a perfect example of the shit show that they made of writing this story. Okay, there you go. Let's all go crazy. Come on. Do you know what? I'm going to do a film about Vietnam, and it's going to be 12 plucky young British blokes going over in a fucking rowboat and solving the problem for the Americans, because that's what happened.
That sounds like Rambo 5.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Rambo was
Rambo. row Rambo, or Rambo 5. Row you boat.
Row Rambo gently down the stream.
50 cal in your face. Everyone is cream. Anyway,
What's that slapping sound? Going down.
somebody's going to get me from orbit soon. Anyway.
Lay you down in a bed of rose. Sleep till I'm dead.
Anyway, right, okay. Rather than me just rag on it for a bit, Elton,
Yeah.
tell us why you like this film, why you picked this film.
Why did I pick this? It's been on my list for some time. And notice it was on my 5, and so I thought, screw you guys. Let's do it, because it's leaving my 5 very soon, and that's my chance gone. So that's why we did it. And because I was interested to see how well it held up. The things it does, which every submarine film does, is the quiet moments where you have the drips and the sounds, and everyone looks up to the ceiling of the submarine. Everyone does it.
Yep.
It's like, right, okay, guys, you're in a submarine. You need to act as if you're listening.
Yes.
So what you need to do is look up.
Yes.
And they all just look up as if they can see through their glass submarine. Look up, guys. That's how you act in a submarine. And it does it. I think it does it fairly well. You also have the dramatic, well, this ship has never gone below 200, whatever it is, 200 bananas or whatever.
200 bananas.
Let's take it further down.
That's the new measurement, isn't it? They replaced leagues with bananas.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not sure. I think that might be pushing it. Well, it's fine. These Krauts build ships very well. Oh, okay, fine. That's great. And then you get the creaky door sounds. It does all of that stuff. I thought the actual firefight was pretty good as they stormed the U-boat. Although I did think everyone would be fucking deaf for the next 24 hours after firing off all of them shots in that very tiny submarine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would all be sat there going, what? I can't fucking it.
My ears are not working. I'm not even thinking.
Mop.
Yeah.
That's just one of those things with war films and action films.
Yeah.
That's just one of the things you have to let go.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's kind of, I mean, when I went to a shooting range and fired some real guns, it was kind of bloody hell. It was kind of, no one just alone can't speak because you can't hear anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, to be quite honest, there's a certain level of any film that you have to go with its internal logic.
Of course. Yeah,
Otherwise, what's the point? You might as well not watch anything. I mean,
it didn't feel like a spacious Red October either. Which was nice.
that was my first surprise when I was watching it, because it was kind of, with this film's reputation, I was bracing, kind of, all right, let's see the pool then, and the tennis court. And it's kind of, oh no, actually, this is a proper size submarine set. And they showed you kind of, what I thought it did well was show you, kind of how small the submarine is. In the same way Das Boot did, but it's kind of, after Red October, that was a fucking breath of fresh air, because I was really expecting World War II Red October.
Yeah.
And that kind of a nonsense action film on a submarine. So I was actually quite surprised when the submarine was actually, it's proper and small and sweaty and dirty, and, the officers are actually just over there.
Yeah.
And literally there's not a wall or pipe wasted that hasn't been turned into a shelf or got a dial on it or is some bit of equipment,
Yeah. Though I have been informed by Mr. Palastides that the sets were actually Das Boot. They were actually some repurposed sets from Das Boot.
Really?
As I understand it. I have no idea. I have literally logged off the Wikipedia, so I have no idea. But I was informed of that fact.
Well, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, which does make a lot of sense. But then you start to suddenly wonder, well, if that's the case, then what did the actual filmmakers bring to this? Because they're using superior sets and using, they still couldn't make something like Das Boot.
Well, it's Hollywooded up, though, isn't it? That's the thing. Das Boot, are you going to get better than that? I don't think so. When we watched that, I was blown away.
Yeah,
that was amazing. And then you need these type of Hollywood things of, you need an easy film to watch. Das Boot, you need to sit down and watch that thing. This, you can just enjoy it. You let it wash over you and have as much fun as you want, or just cream it as much as you want. Take the piss out of it as much as you want. Look at McConaughey. The way that he stands with that microphone. It's like he's Marilyn Manson at a concert, but the quietest concert that he can be in. Like, he stands and poses like, all right. Let's take this boat down. It's just okay, but it was interesting to see that he would do that sort of thing.
Welcome to McConaughey After Dark. We're going to go to 500 meters.
A big hello to all you truckers out there.
This is Matthew McConaughey on U571 ASMR. I'm going to sit there and crinkle my crisps while we're down underneath all of these fucking big booms.
Can you feel it? Can you feel the sonar in your chest? Come on, do it with me. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna sit there behind you, and I'm just gonna play the bongos real quiet. They've dropped 7 depth charges. Those are rookie numbers. Don't worry about that. Let's move on. It's fine.
Those are rookie numbers. We gotta up those numbers.
Oh dear.
See, this film is giving. It's good. I'm not saying it's a good film, but it's giving us something. That's the thing.
Yeah. What about? I mean, okay. I almost hesitate to ask this question, but Darren, did you get anything out of this?
Yeah, I got a history lesson. That's what I got out of it. Because okay, so I mean, we all know how this went, right? Okay, we've got the first of all, like, you get the American submarine, right, gets hit by the magic torpedo, which dodges around other ships because apparently they're artificially intelligent and they can duck under the ship they're not supposed to hit and actually hit the ship on the other side. So you get that. I noticed there weren't any more magic torpedoes fired after that.
Jamie and the magic torpedo.
Jamie and the Magic Torpedo,
Yep.
right? So there you go. After doing that, amazing thing where they turned round and came back and then shot past the submarine and blew up the original ship that fired them. The Magic Torpedoes. Torpedoes. So history lesson. So we know how this story went, right? How they did what they did, right? They went aboard the ship. There was gunfire and stuff like this. And they had a battle with the German crew, and there was this, that, and the other. And then, they fixed the boat, and then they had to get it all the way back to friendly waters before scuttling it and getting away. Would you like to know what actually happened? Would you like to know the true story? Because it's one paragraph.
Well, you've done the research. I feel it'll be rude of us to say no.
Okay, let me read out.
So let's say no. No.
All right, everybody, just gather around. We're going to head to the history
What I
lesson.
want you to do is I want you to all be quiet while I run like some fucking mad knacker through the submarine really loudly.
I'm going to...
Slapping balls as I go.
That's true, yeah. He was like, okay, right, everyone be quiet. And then he runs down to the other end. Dong,
Yeah.
dong, 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 dong.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to hear that at all, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially seen as like a destroyer from 3/4 of a mile away
Yep.
can hear.
Yep. Can
And
hear
it's
someone
like-
scratching their ass.
Yeah,
It's like,
and it's like.
Let
So
me
they-
put my stilettos on as I run down to the other end of the room.
I haven't got any other shoes to wear except for these tap dancing shoes.
Tommy Steele, I know you got the dance in you, but don't do it. Don't do it, Tommy.
A
Tommy.
little white bull, a little white bull.
I'm singing in the rain.
Now to cheer you guys up while we're trying to be quiet, I'm going to offer you some soft shoe shuffle.
Now I'm going to play the spoons. I'm gonna do rawhide on a bunch of spoons and a plate of keys.
Sorry, Cal, go on in. Let's have
So
the
just
history
to cheer
lesson.
you guys up, I'm going to introduce you to a form of music that's going to be really big in the future. It's called garage. Bow selector.
And now I'm gonna put on the greatest hits of Kraftwerk.
Anyway, go on in. Give us your history lesson.
Okay,
I know
so
you've done the
this is-
research.
This is the paragraph which will just show you how different things
I'm
went.
all hot and sweaty.
Right, so on May the 9th, 1941, Britain ordered 3 of its destroyers, HMS. Okay, let's just stop there for a minute. HMS, not USS, HMS Bulldog, HMS Broadway, and HMS Orbretta to attack the U110 U-boat. Right, U110. Couldn't even get the number right. It's a U110.
Excuse
Right?
me, I think that might be an accounting error.
I think so.
Anyway, carry on.
So Operation Primrose, as it was known, succeeded in significantly damaging the U-boat, right? Because the mission was to go out, damage the U-boat and capture it, right? Now, the submarine's crew immediately surfaced and surrendered their vessel after falsely believing that it was sinking. So they gave up, right? There wasn't any big gun battle on a ship, right? They gave up and just, that was it. They were captured, taken across to the British vessels.
We have a ship and it is sinking. It is
Exactly.
a submarine, but it is sinking. Would you like this ship? Yes.
Very good ship, very good prize.
So anyway, they were captured, right? The 32 crew were captured and taken aboard the HMS Bulldog, right? The captain, Van Ona, he asked the pink slips and the car keys. Oh, and what's the glove box? It sticks. And you'll notice it has it has the gear gear shift as the Mini Metro. Should
Don't
be big in the future. Yes.
Don't get water in the distributor, it'll stop.
And the windscreen wipers will give you a bit of jib, but tie a bit of string round them and pull them when they get stuck.
The joke can be a bit funny in the morning.
How many nations do you think we are offending in our ongoing onslaught on the accents?
I must apologise for the music. We have a Val Dulican album trapped in the player. My apologies. So anyway, right? The captain found out that the ship wasn't actually sinking. So he escaped, jumped overboard to try and get back to the boat to actually try and sink it. But he died before he managed to do so.
Right.
Now, the actual guy that went on board, the first guy to enter that sub to get on board it, all right, I was reading an interview with him, said that he thought he was going to be a sitting duck because if there were any Germans left on board, that would have been it for him because he's climbing down the ladder. He's got no way to keep himself defended. And he said, no, he got in there and the thing was completely empty. Every single member of that boat surrendered.
Yes.
So no big gun battles, no nothing.
No.
And that was it. So there
Doesn't
you go.
make exactly an exciting movie, though, let's be honest.
Well, no, this is the thing, right? Okay. Now, all right, fine. Not every single, there's, I don't think there's really any kind of historical Hollywood retelling of anything that's accurate. Okay. I mean, this takes the fucking biscuit, of course. And apparently the guy that wrote the film is still ashamed today that he actually did it. And he flatly refuses to do anything else like this right up until this very day.
Well, apparently he did get called out by bloody Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Well, there was
Apparently.
the British government condemned the film.
Yeah.
And everything. It was like there was a big furore about it. But you could have actually messed with or you could have played with what you had there, right? And apparently the reason they turned it into an American crew was because they said you wouldn't get finance for something like this unless it was an American angle. So why not just have American actors playing one or two of the British crew and have them sort of, train them up to speak in a British accent? It's been done before. Why not do that? Why not mess with this whole thing? Have a cat and mouse thing of the German sub having to dodge these three battleships. Why not do that? Just extend it. You don't have to play it out exactly how it went. You want to make an exciting film. Why did you have to completely and utterly change it?
Because that would be Das Boot.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you're in a submarine, so you're really on a bit of a loss for that one from the get-go, aren't you? It's like football movies. It's like boxing movies. They all lead up to the big competition at the end. It's just it. Dance movies, exactly the same. It's always the big thing. It's like, so fine, just go with it.
For me, again, what surprised me is kind of, because I'd heard about the fury about it, but when I actually watched the movie, the whole thing with the Enigma machine, it didn't really figure. It was just a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
For doing a mission. And if it had ended with them kind of literally winning the war and having a big ticker tape parade, I'd been throwing things at the telly. But it actually just stopped short of that. They completed the mission. It looked like they're going to get picked up. The end.
Yeah.
There was none of this sort of... I was expecting something far, far stupider and far more gung-ho, America, fuck yeah, and I was actually quite surprised how kind of, it was just a mission they did. It wasn't making out, that Matthew McConaughey won the war for us. It really stopped. I think it did. She stopped well short of that because it wasn't that kind of movie. It was trying to be an old school Hollywood war movie. I think it is quite rightly, there's a far better movie that actually recounts what happened. But this really was just a submarine adventure, and you could have replaced the Enigma machine with a tube of Smarties, and it wouldn't have made a difference.
Do you know what they could have?
We got to get those M&Ms out of the storeroom.
There's something else about this as well, right? Some other facts about this. Now, out of the 15,
he's done his research. God damn it!
I have. I've been reading some stuff. Out of the 15 Enigma machines that were actually captured during World War II. 13 of them were captured by British crews, right? One of them was captured by a Canadian crew, and one of them was actually captured by an American submarine, but not until 1944. So why not just do the story of that? Why go to 1941 and do the first one that was captured? Why not just do the one that was you had it was there. Do your research,
because then they wouldn't be nearly as heroic.
Oh, of course not. No.
Catching the first one is, turning the tide of the war is quite a bit different from catching the 58th one, and it don't really matter, but it's nice to have.
1944, everyone's got one by then.
Exactly. Yeah,
we've all got one by now.
Stick them on the pile.
Yeah. Oh, Enigma machine. Yeah, go on, stick it on there. We've got.
It's not version 1 though, is it? No, this is like version 74. Oh,
I mean,
you get rip-off versions as well, like Binatone come out with their own one.
Yeah.
Or,
Rumbelows
come out with an Enigma machine, which gives you the information of codes, but it also sort of like just has a go at you about things.
So this one has Tommy Toys written on it.
Yeah,
exactly. That's fine.
Yeah, I got myself my first Enigma machine for the kids over Christmas.
No, what I was going to say was I agree with you, Jim, that it could have been absolutely any MacGuffin, and I do wonder if it was a different MacGuffin, how we would react to this film. I think the fact that it's made such a big hoo-ha about the fact that it is the Enigma machine and it is shooting a hole in the, in history in such a major way, that I think that's the most egregious thing of it. But what would you? Let's put it to you, Dal, because you're the most vocal on the history thing.
Yeah.
If it wasn't an Enigma machine.
Yeah.
If it was just a code book, let's say it was a code book, a new code book.
It's one of them cheat code books.
Yeah, one of those ones where you put the little red film over it so you can work out how to unlock Elite on the ZX Spectrum. Jensen Willy, yeah.
Well, I've got an idea for something that's just come to me that would have added even more tension to it. And, if we're just going to play hard and fast with history, right? And you want to add a little bit of a twist to stuff. Well, getting near the end of the war, right? And there's this whole race going on for the creation of the atomic bomb, right? What if it's a sub carrying an actual Nazi prototype for a nuclear weapon? Have that, and then you've got this whole thing of them nicking the sub and having to stop it being taken out and having the fucking thing going off and destroying lots of things. You could have something like that, make it really fucking tense.
You could have anything, but my question is, would that have changed your opinion of the film?
Probably would have, yeah, because it's not trying to be something that it's not.
So yeah, but this, I'm not trying to trap you in some kind of odd convoluted kind of gotcha, but I'm just wondering how much of your reaction to the film is actually a reaction to the film and how much of it is a reaction to the story of the film.
Well, I was quite honest at the beginning where I said that, I tried to separate the artist from the art and I couldn't. So yeah, my anger or my dislike of it, my kind of dude, please fuck off, is based on that. And it's when I read the rest of it and how far apart it is from the actual truth, that's when it got even worse. And it was just like, this is taking the piss. This is, let's claim another victory for this. Let's do this thing where we weren't even in, America hadn't even joined the war at that point. And yet apparently they did this.
Yeah. Apparently they did.
I think there is something to be said. Now this isn't a dig at anyone at all, but
So it is.
no, it's honestly it's not.
Buckle up, assholes. We got some secret digging coming in.
Yeah. Thanks, Matthew. Thanks. Anyway,
This is covert digging. Okay,
Yeah.
no, this isn't. But some people just go into a film and they hear that it's not accurate or anything like that, and so they jump on that bandwagon and just run with it without doing any research or anything like that. And they just lambast it for no reason whatsoever. They haven't sat down and watched it or just understood it or don't care about it, but they like kicking it because it is a thing that people kick.
yeah.
And I've never found it with this because I don't really understand the history of it. I understood when it first came out that it was inaccurate, and I heard all the stories on the radio about it being inaccurate and lots of people really angry with it. For me going in to see it, I was like, well, I don't know what is inaccurate and what is accurate, so it's just a story to me. I get that the Americans are Americanizing it, but okay, it's Hollywood. That's what they do. Show me a film where it is entirely 100% accurate to history. There isn't one.
No, there isn't.
Because
they stick to the basic guidelines of the actual event that takes place. You know,
but
this doesn't
that's
even
told
do that.
by the winners. History is always told by the winners.
Yeah, it is told
So
by
it's
the
not
winners.
Even though it is historically accurate from their point of view, it wouldn't be from the other person's point of view. So no film, story, or anything like that can be 100% accurate.
Nobody's, as I say there earlier on, and I was quite honest with that, it's like, you know, there's never been a historical retelling by Hollywood that's been totally accurate. But this is, let's see, the difference between this and quite a few others is the actual, how far apart it is from the actual event. This is supposed to be the recovering of the first Enigma code device, right? And it is just, it's the difference between Quick Fit and bloody Tesco's. It's like, that's it. It's just, what the fuck? And had they just thought about it for 2 seconds, they could have had the American crew picking up the Enigma device. They could have just gone with history. They could have played hard and fast with that. But no, it had to be this. It had to be this one event.
Yeah.
First one. They had to be first. You know? And it's just, that.
I mean, yeah, I get that. Because I get there's this kind of arrogance to the whole thing. And that I understand. I totally am on board with why people would take against that. And personally, I mean, I've seen too many films saying, you know, this is based on true events and clearly isn't, to know that, you know, these things happen and just whatever.
Yeah, they can have one moment in that film and say that is
based on true events.
Yeah, based on true events because this bit happened in it.
Yeah, I think you know the problem really I think the problem stems from the fact that once you're made aware of the issue, I think you can't see past the issue.
And I didn't.
No, I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying.
I'm being honest about that. I'm laying my cards on the table. That affected my view of the film, right? And actually just going down the rabbit hole and looking at all this stuff and, you know, finding the reason why they did this in the first place about this. It's just a money issue, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. And there's other ways around that. And it's just, yeah. So, you know, I'm holding my hands up and saying, yeah, I was affected by...
Were you affected by the issues in today's program? If so, we have all our information on our website.
Yeah, it tainted my view of this film.
And that's fair. I mean, being honest about it, that's fair. You know,
I'm agreeing with you, and it's it's the fact that I did read all that. It's if I hadn't known that, I'd be like, I would be like yourself going into it, not knowing, watch it. It'd be like, oh, that's really great, fantastic. And it's like watching films like Rush, right?
Yeah.
How you find out that, whereas there's this big rivalry between James Hunt and
Niki Lauda.
Niki Lauda.
Sorry?
There goes Niki Lauda. There goes Niki even louder. Yeah. And you find out that they were actually living in a bloody flat together. Yeah, it's like I say, I'm tainted by the history first.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, how did you feel about that again, Elton? I mean, just remind us, given that kind of comparison. I mean, that that Rush, for example, does do that.
Yeah,
and you obviously more invested in that side of things.
Yeah,
how would you feel about that?
Well, it's the storytelling. You need that storytelling, don't you? You need to bend the truth a little bit. Not every day is exciting in everyone's life.
As shown by our how's your weeks?
How's your week? Yeah, nothing happened this week.
Yeah,
so, okay, fine. Make a film about that. Well, I had aliens come down and land in my garden this week. Actually, no. It's all about storytelling. The thing that annoys me, and Darren, would you agree there are some people that get annoyed with this movie and say, oh, it's entirely inaccurate, just because they've been told to say that, or they've heard other people say that, and so they jump on the bandwagon?
There are so many instances in today's society where that sort of kind of shit takes place. One person says something, it's like the whispers. It changes. The thing slightly grows in inaccuracy the more you whisper it.
It's like everyone's scared of fucking clowns. Not everyone's scared of fucking clowns, but people say it because it's the thing to say. They think it's isn't that very, very weird that you're actually scared of a child's clown? That's weird. Actually, a child's clown would be weird. But
now you've just scared yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm scared of them. I'm scared of children dressed up as clowns. Fuck that noise.
Yeah,
but
giggling and running around.
People latch onto that and go, "What? I think this is a thing to say."
Well, I mean, to be quite honest, to use an old story that I've probably told far too many times now on this cast over the years, but there was that time when the reboot, this first J.J. Abrams film of Star Trek came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it came out in 2009. It came out in 2009, and I was a moderator on this 3D website that seemed to specialize in Star Trek. I say specialize in Star Trek, but essentially there would always be someone trying to make a fucking enterprise on this bloody website. And I got, thanks to the fact that I was doing lots of reviews and shit for SFX magazine, no, SFX, Sci-Fi Now magazine. And I used to write for them, and I got tickets to go and see this film literally a month before it came out. Mm-hmm. And so I went to Paramount and I did that thing, and I sat down and I watched this film, and I actually, regardless of whatever I thought about the sequels, I thought that first reboot was a big fucking amazing, kick in the arse for Star Trek. I thought, this is what we want. I
totally agree with you.
Absolutely loved it. Thanks very much. But then for the following month, after going back onto this forum and saying, I've seen it, I think it's great. This is going to be the shot in the arm the franchise needs. I got nothing but absolutely lambasted by all these people who literally wrote that fucking Wikipedia on Star Trek The Motion Picture all those years ago. I mean, the sort of people who would say things like, tell us about the shape of the nacelles and the Enterprise. And I said, they've got this really cool thing that just before it goes to warp, because they're 3D guys, they want to know this stuff. And I go, just before it goes to warp, the fins open up at the back, like heat sinks, like shark gills, and then it takes off. And then there'd be like 100 posts of everyone telling me that obviously I'm not a fan, that I'm a shill for the company, all this bollocks. And it was because it was all the consensus view. And not a single one of those cockends had seen this film. And
they
there
also,
was just no
they
way
also
they could...
didn't understand that it wasn't a fucking reboot.
No. And it was all this stuff about, it's, they're rebooting Star Trek, It's like, no, they're not rebooting Star Trek. They're not. They're giving us an alternative timeline. They've given themselves a very clever out.
Yeah.
And I said that. I said, your Star Trek still exists and it will always still exist. This one over here is a different timeline, different universe, but they've made an excuse for it that makes sense. And again, everyone just ignored what they wanted to ignore because they wanted to hate on this thing. And then by that point, I just was like, fuck this, fuck these people. I don't want to talk about Star Trek ever again. Nacelles, any of that bollocks. I'm not going to sit there and talk for 15 hours defending a film that nobody else has seen and nobody really wants to like. And I fucking left it. And I left the forum. I left everything. I got drummed out of that place. I came back just out of curiosity a year later. And all those arseholes who had given me all manner of shit were making 3D versions of that fucking Enterprise and patting each other on the back for the shark's fins on the nacelles and all this kind of shit. And that, to me, is exactly what you're talking about with this U571 thing of jumping on a bandwagon of opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Darren's doing that. In fact, I quite agree with what he's saying. But the fact of the matter is, there is a whole section of people who will take things sight unseen and just go, nah, because everyone is the cool kids and I want to be one of the cool kids and have the same opinion.
Yeah.
And that I do agree with. I think, there are people who will do that. And
definitely.
Well, they've done it with Star Wars as well. It was the done thing to say
don't
Phantom
say
Menace is shit.
Oh, right, thank God. We won't go into that.
No, we're doing the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Phantom Menace is shit. And everyone jumped on that. And then all of a sudden it came back and everyone's rethought it. And now it's the opinion to have, actually, no, it's quite good, isn't it? It's quite good. Oh, yeah, it's subtle in its motifs.
Well, and Alien 3 is the other one.
I've always liked that.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
The rest of the universe hasn't.
No.
That's fine. You can like
but
that.
you can like that. I'm not taking that away if people like what they like. But the fact of the matter is, it just seems like the world suddenly turned around and gone, oh, yeah, that David Fincher, he's quite popular now. Mm-hmm. We've always liked Alien 3. It's the enemy white label bollocks again, isn't it? It's the Q magazine. I liked them when they were still white label in Camden, selling their vinyls for 75p and they didn't even have a band name.
Yeah.
It's that bollocks.
Can I just say, by the way, I feel as though me and Lee are probably more qualified to dislike the Phantom Menace than a lot of people who have just had an opinion about it because,
we've seen it at the cinema.
Yeah, we've seen it at the cinema and we've actually seen it in 3D and it was just as much bollocks in 3D as it was in
worse.
2D. Yeah, in fact, it was coming out the screen at us.
When's our next viewing of that?
Oh, good Lord.
I don't know.
It's due, isn't it? It must be due.
Well, I tell you what,
cure for insomnia. I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you what. If someone pulls the trigger, I'll tell you what. If someone pulls the trigger on Fast and the Furious, I will pull a trigger on the entire Star Wars rewatch from 1 to 9.
Oh, can we do the Laserdisc copies as well without all the special effects?
No,
I've got them. If you want them,
no. I promise you. I swear to God, if that's my threat, if someone pulls the trigger on either Police Academy or fucking or
this
fucking...
list gets bigger and bigger, doesn't it?
Okay, guys, we can't do this because Lee has the higher ground.
I'm altering the deal. Pray I do not alter it any further. Anyway, so yeah, but I've never seen number 9. I still haven't. So at the end of the day, you pull the trigger on those 10 films, and I will just there we go. Let's pull the trigger, and I will watch Rise of Skywalker, and it will be.
Oh God! No.
I just don't know how I'll react.
Snoke, if you got him.
Yeah. No, he didn't mean anything. Honestly, he was he was completely pointless to the entire story.
Even
Anyway,
Andy Serkis has gone. When I've read that, it was like, what?
no, let's not go down that road, please.
Right.
Just powder dry until the day that I finally pull that pin.
God.
It won't happen unless you make it happen. That's all I'm saying.
Indeed.
That's my threat to you.
May I ask?
Yeah.
I know that I said this very early on about Bon Jovi and Bon Jovi 2 in this
Electric
movie.
Boogaloo.
Yeah. Did anyone else have that moment of, is that Bon Jovi? Because, as you said, it's very difficult to see when people get killed. And I watched the whole movie and noticed that Bon Jovi wasn't there. And I was like, have I missed when he went? But it's only because he's going around taking photos that you see that door hit his face and then the camera go flying up in the air. And you're like, oh, that's Bon Jovi. Okay, I get it. And
There goes Bon Jovi. There goes Bon Jovi, you with the door I used to call my friend. He'll be splashing round and never end.
But I had this when I very first watched it. I honestly thought that he made it all the way through to the end, and I had to go and check when he went to make sure that old Bon Jovi 2 wasn't in his place. So did anyone else have that problem?
Bon
at all?
Jovi 2.
I was quite surprised when he died. I'll be honest.
Despite
Well, then
us
again,
giving
it was-
you warning.
Well, I'd put that aside. I try to put this stuff aside and judge it as it goes.
yeah.
But it's one of those, if you didn't know he was Jon Bon Jovi, I mean, he wasn't kind of like, they didn't sort of, like Harry Styles in Dunkirk. They didn't play up to him being a pop star, like, this sailor's brought a guitar and he's going to have a sing-song. You know what I mean? Or anything like that. He was just another guy, and his performance was fine.
He's got 6-string on his
You know
back.
what I mean? He didn't stand out from the crowd. He got no special treatment, or his character wasn't sort of, written to accommodate a rock star. I thought,
true, yeah.
that was fine. And the fact that he did die, I was going, oh, good on you. Because a lot of people think, oh, he won't die. He's Jon Bon Jovi. Oh, no, he will. Which I thought that was probably the cleverest filled thing in the movie.
Bon Jovi
Yeah.
standing down by the docks. Sorry,
Bouncing across the waves, he's got a plate in the face. The face.
show him the door, someone.
Whoa,
literally.
we're halfway there. Whoa, he's bouncing over there. Anyway, okay, here's
I feel as though we only just skimmed the surface of his character.
bobbing along on the bottom.
Bob Jovi. That's what we call him from now on.
Bomb Jovi.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Bowie Jovi.
yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, I've lost my train of thought now. I mean, how do we feel about the cliches? I mean, that was my big problem of the film overall. I mean, away from the Enigma thing, my problem was, and it was the thing that bugged me all the way through, was that the film lacked any manner of subtlety in its kind of intentions. So as soon as Bill Paxton, because half the film I couldn't even remember, but Bill Paxton says, "You're not the man to make that decision. You wouldn't look at Rabbit and send him into send him to die," and that sort of thing. He's like, well, that means he's going to do that. And then there's like lots of people and it was like the Snake Plissken "Aren't you dead" moment of literally every person on that dock, including probably the dogs and the pigeons, were walking up to Matthew McConaughey going, "So you didn't get a command then?" and stuff like that. And then there's also, the thing of like, oh, you know, if we leave the German captain on his own, surely he won't possibly escape. You know, the only person who's left alive. It's you know, oh, we've only got one torpedo tube. It's like, what? So you've only got like 4 torpedoes, full stop. What the fuck? You know,
That last one was in the rear as well, wasn't it?
Well, you know, sometimes it gets very lonely on those boats. Anyway,
You know, I'm just thinking, right? If Jon Bon Jovi's character goes to the afterlife and you know, St. Paul's up there at the gate and says to him, "So, how'd you die then?" And he goes, "Well, I got hit in the face by a door." And, you know, my body's still kind of, you know, doing 30 knots across the Atlantic. But, you know, it could have been worse. I could have been put up for captain and never got it, you know? And people keep fucking mentioning it to me. But I escaped that.
45 minutes. I measured it. 45 minutes of people from the start to the...
Oh, I thought you meant that was how long Jon Bon Jovi's body was actually travelling along the ocean.
No. There was a post-credit sequence. And it was just the moon and the sea, and every now and again you get this... right across the horizon.
What that reminds me of, I don't know if anybody's, I mean, I suppose we've all watched Only Fools and Horses. There was that special they did where they go to Marbella, I think it is, and there's that scene where Del Boy can't stop the jet ski, and you just see him riding off into the sunset. He's just got his hands clasping onto it. He's got no brakes. He just goes off.
He comes back, he's bright red and he loves it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I was just going to say, so the cliches were the big thing for me with this film. Now, like I say, it wasn't just like one cliche, but it was every conceivable cliche, including, like I say, Dead Meat Johnson, who had the most obvious I mean, it couldn't have had more "you are going to die" written on his head, unless he was actually sort of like standing there, and every scene had the Grim Reaper like literally one step behind him, going, "Is this going to take long?" I mean, that's literally the only thing that was missing. So, did that bother any of you guys, or was that just like part of the sort of like generic wallpaper of war movies?
I think that's a Hollywood thing in general, isn't it? It's what Hollywood does best, is cliches.
I know, but there's telegraphing them, and then there's this.
Yeah, it wasn't so much telegraphing. I mean, it literally wallpapered it across the side of the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you know, oh, we're going to get on this boat, and now the big boat that's going to escape is going to explode, and, you know, all sort of thing. But it's...
As you said about the, you haven't got the guts to send a man down into the trenches, and you know, how will you ever choose and decide? And then there's a moment where, Captain, you have to choose between these two people, in which one will possibly drown to his horrible death.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, guys, start the timer.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
I've got a bag of pork pies here. They're all different sizes.
Yeah.
Whichever one of you pours out the smallest pork pie is the man that's going down.
Yeah.
In the dark waters, and possibly not die, but then, well, you know, these things don't normally turn out like in the person with the smallest pork pie's favor. Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not sure where the pork pies came from. I found them in the galley. Obviously, they're a big delicacy in Germany. They did have some free Bentos pies in tins, but I've got no opener, so pork pies it is, lads.
So do we send Tracker or do we send Rabbit? Rabbit or Tracker? Which one has the pretty mouth? Rabbit. Well, then we'll send Tracker.
Who's got ears like velveteen? Yes. It's definitely not Tracker.
Tracker's the one with the calloused hands. He's going under.
I like me something soft to hang on to.
But the thing with it all is, like, even when Tracker goes underwater, they don't even give him the sort of like a death. He just goes under the water, and then the bloke just turns up and goes, Tracker's dead. And everyone goes, and everyone has a look, yep. And then the thing is, it's like, so that literally had zero emotional weight. It's like, Tracker. Oh no, not Tracker. Who's Tracker?
Well, at least we got Rabbit. At least you didn't kill Rabbit. Well done, sir.
Rabbit.
Suddenly, just after that, you hear a thump on the side of the hull and a squeaky sound. There's something.
I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What is that?
On the outside of the hull.
Yep. What's that? Is that Morse code? Can you translate? Yep. It says, please open the door. I'm running out of
bread.
Oh. And that's suddenly it's abruptly stopped, sir.
Yeah.
It says his name is Barry Thaddeus Johnson III, otherwise known as Tracker. He is from Massachusetts, and he would like to be let in, and he's using a 4x9 wrench. He's knocking on the hull. Oh, he's run out of breath.
Before we knew it, there was a thud and a squeak, and Tracker was gone.
McConaughey's Ring doorbell goes on his phone.
Ding, ding, ding. just outside the window.
It's just as they're all trying to be quiet. He gets a fucking delivery.
Nobody make a single sound.
Ding, ding, ding. I'll leave it on the doorstep.
Oh shit!
I'm sorry, mate. Wrong door.
And I've got to say, the thing that actually, apart from Deddy McDedson, the dead meat, who was the single most unlucky seaman I've ever seen in my entire life.
Phrasing.
Yeah, unlucky seaman. Oh, not half. Anyway, but the one bit that did make me laugh was when it was like they dropped the depth charges.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going, he goes, like this, and it's like, oh, it's getting tense. But when one actually hit the fucking U571, it didn't just hit. It was like being in the Pringles jar, being inside a Pringles tin at a fucking rave. It's not like 25 depth charges on them, and it's like for about 10 minutes. It was like, how many fucking depth charges have they dropped on it, and why isn't the boat absolutely sunk? Because it was 1 minute, it was like, oh, they're dropping them like, and then all of a sudden it just went. It's like a machine gun of fucking depth charges on them for about 20 minutes. The cameraman, I think the cameraman must have had whiplash. It was like they stuck him in a tumble dryer and just set it on spin. Because the camera just wasn't like... I'm thinking, Jesus Christ. Oh, dear. Anyway, sorry. So, anyone else? Go back to the cliches. Did it bother you, Jim? Those cliches, or was it just wallpaper?
It was mainly wallpaper to me. Because the thing is, when I went into this, I was thinking, so there's going to be Red October in World War II, or worse, Pearl Harbor. That's what I was bracing for. And so, quite early, I was like, this is actually trying to do old school war movie. Fair enough. You're playing those beats. It could have made more of them. I mean, all films, all stories are cliches. It's just, it's the little spin you put on the cliches and, the tropes. That's where you get the magic. This film really didn't have any sort of, any spin to put on them. It did the cliches well. it was functional to me, you know what I mean? But it didn't, you know, I felt kind of the action sequences and the classic sort of sub setup bits. You know what I mean? They work well, but you're invested in the situation thinking, God, I'm really glad to be sat on a sofa, not in a leaky tin can, far too deep in the water with people shooting at me. Yeah, those things, that worked well, but character-wise, they're all quite flat and generic, and there isn't really enough in the story to just give it a bit of zap. But at the same time, it's kind of, you know, I was sort of quite pleased it wasn't the gung-ho, brainless Pearl Harbor in a submarine that's what I was bracing for, you know what I mean? So by the end of it, good out of that one, well.
Yeah.
That was all, you know, that was all right.
Yeah. Overall, it wasn't that bad. No. Cool. Okay. Right. Let's wrap up because we're getting quite close to time. So, has anyone got anything particularly pressing that they want to bring up about this film? Yeah.
They want to tell old Matthew McConaughey here.
Does anyone anything they want to bring up?
I think I'm done. Yeah. I've had fun doing this. This has been good.
Okay. Okay, cool. Jim, any final thoughts?
Not really.
No. No, I'm done. Fuck it. I'm going back to my Xbox. The last 200 meg have been filled up with Micro Machines DLC. I'm off. Darren, any last thoughts? There you go. Brilliant. Okay, then. Right. Well, if anybody out there has any thoughts or anyone else wants to send in a particularly awful impression of Matthew McConaughey or Bon Jovi skipping across the ocean with a large piece of saucer in his forehead, then
sailing across the sea to see my Uncle Sam.
Sailing over the seven seas so blue. Anyway, yeah. Then, if you want to send anything in, then do send it into the usual places. Go on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast, or send in some feedback via email, which is feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. Right. So, before we get to Pimp's Corner and find out what everyone is doing in their own individual podcasts, it's time to find out what film we're going to be doing next week. Now, we will be recording on Wednesday next week, so we won't be around our usual time. But next Wednesday when we return, Darren, it is your film. And what will we be doing?
Right, okay, so I'm going to go left field on this one.
Okay.
This was a film I do believe you were going to pick yourself, Mr. Metcalf.
Money Plane.
Money Plane 2.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the Tommy Walsh version of Money Plane, where it's actually a plane, like a wood plane that generates cash.
Though, speaking of Tommy Walsh, he was on the news today talking about sticking pins in poo. But anyway, I digress.
Was he?
Yes,
Okay.
he was. He was, genuinely.
Do you make a cupboard or something with that?
No. Maybe another day.
Cover?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick a pin in some poo and make myself a fucking wardrobe.
Hello, it's sticking a pin in some poo with me, Tommy Walsh.
Anyway, sorry, carry on now.
Yeah, so I've decided to go go left field. I was going to add another, so we can make our farts in a tin season.
Farts in a Pringles can, yeah.
By having another submarine movie, but I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm just going to go completely and utterly batshit bonkers, lightheartedly crazy. And this week we will be watching The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, starring Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal.
Everyone's favourite internet dad, Pedro Pascal.
God, yeah.
If you're a young child and you see Pedro Pascal, he's going to keep you safe no
you're
matter
safe.
what.
That's it. You're all right, mate. You're done.
If you're magic.
If you're
magic, yeah.
Yeah, if you're somehow
if you're an ordinary
magic.
kid, fuck off.
Yeah,
Not
that's true.
interested.
There is a very good, I think it's a News Stump article that says scientists have taken a look into the future and all it will be are programs about Pedro Pascal being a father to a magic child. That's the only entertainment we're watching in the future.
Quite likely. Okay, so the unbearable weight of massive talent, starring
Yes.
Nicolas Cage, Pedro Pascal, no magic children.
No magic children, but plenty of magic Cage and plenty of magic Pedro Pascal.
Okie dokie. So, who has seen this film? Elton, have you seen this film?
No, I have not. No.
Are you looking forward to seeing this film? I'll take that as a no. Jim, the same question.
I'm quite interested with Pedro Pascal, even though it does mean breaking my not watching films with Nicolas Cage
Yeah, that's
embargo.
But it is Nicolas Cage actually playing Nicolas Cage in this. That's the premise of it. So make
Don't
it
try and sell it down. Don't try and sell it.
No, say that would be acceptable.
Yeah, there you go.
It's only if he can't play Nicolas Cage. That'll be the problem.
It's a documentary. That's basically what it is. Yeah.
Okay. For me, I have only seen this. Well, I say relatively recently. So it'll be interesting to watch it again now, knowing what's coming. I have seen it before, but it's just like I watched it with Carol over Christmas. I think it was just before,
I
just
think I
after
watched
Christmas.
it, yeah, so round about the same time.
So yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to watch it again and see how it is once the sort of shine of the novel premise is worn off.
Indeed.
Right. And what about you, Dale? How are you feeling about this then?
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
It's the film that I watched and I automatically wanted to go and, just be best buds with Nicolas Cage and go on a fucking mad adventure. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Right. Fine. Well, there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, the unbearable weight of massive talent is what we will be reviewing next week when we return. But until then, let's find out what other amazing entertainment is provided by the hosts of this podcast. Jim, what's going on in Hypnagoria Land?
This week, actually out now or thereabouts, nearly the witching hour, will be the third part of my serial reading of Robert E. Howard's Pigeons from Hell. There will be another episode of Commentary Club, which is the film we watched the night before we watched U5719010, which is frankly the stupidest film I've ever seen in my life. Stupider than Money Plane.
Uh-oh. Go on. What was it?
I mean, Shakmar.
Shakmar?
It's a 1990 film about students and Roddy McDowell trapped in a building with a killer baboon.
I'm changing my choice. I'm changing my choice. We're watching that this week.
Starring the bloke who's in the Blue Lagoon with Brooke Shields.
Oh, good Lord.
The performance of a lifetime. Playing the stupidest character I have ever seen in my life. The commentary is I think it's a good one.
I can only imagine.
Well, there's things in this film that you never think you see on a sane person would write in a script.
Right, I'm there, definitely. Cool. Okay, and that's all over at hypnagoria.com.
It is indeed, yeah.
Looking forward to it already. Brilliant. And what about you, Elton? What's happening over at Rogue 2?
I am just talking about cars going around in circles with Andy on the Grand Prix podcast. So that's all you've got at the moment. That's over at rogue2media.com.
Okie dokie. Brilliant. And that's about it then. Well, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
And thank you all for listening. And we will be back next week for Nicolas Cage Don't Go Crazy Time with Internet's favourite dad, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And until then, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you all next week. Till then, take care. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
We gotta get those numbers up. We gotta get those rookie numbers up and send that damn bastard down to hell. Now, where's that pork pie and rabbit's mouth?
There's a voice that keeps on calling me, down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.